Because you always use that active and defending.
I think it's like
people deluded. I'm back again. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're doing well and safe, having a progressive week, and I hope you and your loved ones are in good spirits. Please do me a favor and make sure, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you're doing such. People, whether you're new here or whether you've been part of the furniture here, I appreciate you. Please smash the like button, and throughout the video, also after the video, offer your thoughts on everything we discussed. Now, let's see what's going on with Arsenal. As you know, Balogun is someone, 1 minute it's Monaco, then Chelsea, then Spurs, then West Ham, then this team and that team. Whether you want him to be here or not, it seems like, unfortunately, because he's a Haylender is why I say that, his days at Arsenal appear numbered. Apparently, the race for the USMNT and Arsenal striker is led by Monaco despite Chelsea interest, probably because Chelsea haven't tabled an offer and Monaco have had a verbal proposal rejected, an official offer rejected, and they remain in the race to sign him. We'll have to see where this goes. Arsenal are planning to hold out for the best price they can get with no qualms about selling to a rival. Now, I can't say Spurs are a rival, but what I would say, and he's also been linked with Fulham as well. Admittedly, you know, if Balogun's agents have a clue, to be honest, Crystal Palace in the game we played against them looks like they need a forward who can put the ball in the back of the net, and he can be part of IC3 FC. Maybe playing devil's advocate, but if you've got no qualms about selling to a rival, does that mean you don't rate them? You don't rate the individual, you know, because Balogun could come back to haunt us. Even if he doesn't score 1 million goals and is sold for a handsome profit for whatever fee, he might score goals against us. So do we think he's probably not as good as some people say? I personally think he's overrated, and don't shoot me for saying that. I think he's a quality player with a high ceiling. I just feel I can't disrespect scoring 22 odd league goals, but I do think many people are putting him on a pedestal that he's not, and inevitably those individuals, when he fails to meet them ridiculous standards at this moment in time, will tear him down. I think he's at the right stage of his development. I think he should be filled with a lot of confidence. I think he did well in France, people, and I think he you know, he's been exposed to first team football. I just feel when you look past the goals, there's a lot that needs to be added into his game over 90 minutes, in line with what Mikel Arteta demands from a striker. But nonetheless, let's go all the way down. Monaco remain in pole position to secure the services of the in-demand United States men's national team striker Balogun. Despite interest from Chelsea, negotiations between the Liga side and Arsenal have progressed positively over recent days. And although a second formal offer has not been submitted, CBS sources view Monaco as the front runners in what has been a hotly contested race for the 22-year-old. Dialogue between the clubs has focused on the structure of payments. An expected second bid from Monaco, revealed by CBS Sports last week, is not expected to hit Arsenal's price tag of 63 million. That's $63 million. That's probably about 49 point something million pounds, or let's just call it 50 million pounds, which would be the asking price, though additional clauses and bonuses could bring it close to that value. So far, there's been no indication that the North London club are ready to compromise on their target figure. Given interest from elsewhere, it is viewed as unlikely that they would until nearer to deadline day on Friday, September the 1st. Now, the longer it goes on, Balogun might have to put internal pressure along with his agents on Arsenal, but I like the fact that Edu and Co are playing hardball. We've got a player that's only 22 years of age, and appreciating asset. There's a market for a half-decent striker, because the striker market in terms of household names isn't there. Every year, you get a Vlahovic, you get a Højlund, you get things like this. But definitely in my 28 years, this is the period where there's not really a whole bunch of standout names of strikers. And I mean, every signing's a risk, but even the quote unquote household names or strikers that we'd all like at our clubs, they all present a risk. You're not 100% confirmed on everything, really. I guess our negotiation hand is weakened because Balogun's contract is up until 2025, so his valuation could fluctuate. He's clearly not in Mikel Arteta's immediate plans, but that could be a position of strength in that he's got 18 months on his deal. You know, there is scope for another striker in the team. Again, it's in Balogun's best interest to go get football. Monaco with Ben Yedder, he's got stuff off the field issues that could mean he's not playing for them in the near to distant future. And Mbolo, apologies, has suffered a major injury. But for all the teams that have been linked, you know, Fulham, Chelsea, West Ham, Spurs, Leipzig, Inter, AC, it appears Monaco, to a degree Inter as well, are the only ones that have put a bid down, really. So We'll have to see. Apparently, Chelsea have also engaged in exploratory dialogue with both the reps of Balogun and Arsenal, according to CBS Sports sources, over a potential deal with the Blues, who are eager to strengthen their forward line after an injury to Nkunku. Fulham, flush with cash after selling Mitrovic to El Hilal for $63 million, have also been credited with strong interest in the forward. A revival of interest from Inter cannot also be entirely discounted, though for the time being, Arsenal sources view them as out of the race, people. So we'll have to see exactly what is going to happen. And big up to him for scoring 21 goals in 37 league games. 7 of those were penalties, which shows his mentality. Currently, he's probably behind Trossard, Martinelli, and the organic strikers of Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. And as you've seen, there's rumours that we're trying to go for Ivan Ferguson next year. If we just forget Ivan Ferguson's name and just look at the profile, he's more of an organic, a more traditional striker. So maybe that's on the list for Arsenal. And to be honest with you, I think there's only a couple of areas on top of what Arteta wants that we're lacking. I do think we do well to get another centre mid. I think a lot of people, Arsenal fans, I don't think there'll be anyone that would disagree. If you could get someone that could compete on the right wing with Saka, that's great. Obviously, Timber's 4-star hand with the injury, probably have to bring in a defender. But if Timber was fit, that's not really a thing. And I think a striker, man, you know, if everybody keeps scoring, we got 80-odd goals last year. If everyone can do more, we get closer to 100. Could you imagine a striker in this team that fits what Arteta wants and can get 20 plus 30 league goals even, people? We'd be a completely different dynamic. We turn a couple of losses into draws, a couple of draws into victories, and ultimately get more 3 points because, as you know, good is not enough against when you're fighting this juggernaut of Manchester City for a league title. You have to be amazing and brilliant. So that's that. Arsenal get fresh Gabriel transfer boost after new Paris Saint-Germain development. Apparently, people, you know, El Itilal, Itad, I can't pronounce them, but a Saudi club have turned their attentions to Marquinhos after being told Gabriel is not for sale. 1 minute it's Real Madrid, then it's PSG, then it's Saudi Arabia. And obviously with Gabriel not starting our first 2 Premier League games, despite being ever present, you know, with Mikel Arteta in the squad, people had a lot to say. Hopefully we keep him because I think he's also pretty slept on. Apparently Arsenal are working on at least 7 more first team exits before the summer transfer window closes on the 1st of September. We've been given 2 million over Mavropanos' move to West Ham from Stuttgart, people. Scrolling all the way down, again, allegedly, thus far, finding exit paths for several fringe players who are not part of Arteta's plans has proved difficult. The Spaniard has regularly insisted that Tierney is still part of his plans across the course of this summer, not been in the last 2 squads. And you'd imagine Tierney's at least good enough to be on the bench. But Football.London understands that Arsenal are open to offers for him. The Scottish international has been omitted from both of Arsenal's Premier League matchday squads this season and is keen to secure regular game time elsewhere. Newcastle were among the interested sides, but they've since pivoted to the signing of Lewis Hall from Chelsea. Real Sociedad remain another possible destination for Tierney, though the Spanish side would only look to take him on loan. Edu is working hard to ensure that any possible loans include an obligation to buy at the end of them, but the club's stance is that permanent deals remain preferable. It's a similar case for Lokonga, who's also been linked with Monaco once again. Apparently, Brighton are the latest team to show an interest. They want to take him on loan. But for all the Monaco, Burnley, and Brighton interest, nothing has happened. Apparently, the club are also open to offers for Rob Holding. He has just a year left on his deal with the option of a further 12 months, people. We rejected an offer from Besiktas. Besiktas are also interested, allegedly, in Nicolas Pepe, who apparently a Saudi club has made contact for him. As you know, he's got 12 months left on his deal. Cedric, the less said, the better. He clearly needs to move on. Nuno Tavares is a player who Arsenal would also like to secure an exit for. The player has attracted interest from Germany, but his preference has always been to stay in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest showed an interest in signing him, but that appears to have cooled down for now. West Ham are also thought to be keen on signing a 22-year-old, but no formal approach has been made. Aston Villa would be interested in taking Tavares on loan, but once again, Arsenal's preference would be to secure a permanent exit if possible. We've just gone over Balogun, people, so I won't utter the same things. Never say never, says Romano, where Kudus is concerned, people. What has he said? Let's see what also happens with Arsenal, because Arsenal in June called Kudus, for then they invested big amount for Kai Havertz and all of the other players they signed this summer, including Timber and Rice. So that's why with Arsenal, nothing is going to continue, but never say never. That's why Ajax decided to wait and not accept West Ham's proposal. So we'll have to see. I don't think we're going to sign Kudus, but I'll be welcome to be proven wrong. For what it's worth, keeping up the theme with Mohamed Kudus, Romano has said he understands West Ham have submitted a new formal bid for him in the last 24 hours. The The total package is 42 million euros. Apparently, Ajax have rejected the proposal out of hand, no intention to accept at those conditions. West Ham will now decide if they want to leave the table as there's no agreement. He has been linked with Man United. He has actually been linked with Spurs. He has been linked with Chelsea, and he has been linked with Arsenal. But who knows? And the more it gets to the close of the window, who knows where the man's going to end up, people. Kiddo Taylor Hart is in talks to join Portuguese side Story on a permanent deal with a sell-on clause. Clearly, there's not a pathway for the young man, but we wish the talented player the best. Again, Monaco are set to make a formal offer worth more than 35 million for Balogun. Chelsea have also held talks with his reps over a potential move, says TalkSport, people. Again, despite Monaco not yet returning with an improved bid for Balogun, there's a broad sense an agreement is in place between the clubs on a transfer fee. The payment structure will now need to be finalized, says Sky Sports. Once again, Mavropanos has joined West Ham from Stuttgart for 20 million. We'll receive 10% of that deal, which is 2 million quid. Every little helps, people, in that regards. Darman Chef on Balogun has said, interesting developments on this one. Actually, being positive talks were told are continuing between Monaco and Arsenal over Balogun. Monaco have yet to go back in with an improved bid after they had one bid rejected, but we think is happening is that discussions are centering around the actual broad agreement between the fee before they start to finalize what kind of structure and payment terms this fee will look like. Personal terms are not expected to be a problem for Balogun, and we think he's open to the move. Romano has said on Gabriel, there have of course been big rumors about Saudi Arabia being in London, well, El Hital, in London, to try to convince Arsenal to sell Gabriel. However, my sources tell me no way. Arsenal have no intention to sell or negotiate. I mean, Partey and Gabriel have been linked with moves away. That needs to, unless you're bringing in better than what they have right now and they're hitting the ground running, they can't go, really. The only sort of key player in the squad I would say allowed to go, and he's not really key, would be Tierney, because evidently we're angling that for that. This was the case before Timber's injury, and even more so now, as to sell such an important player with 10 days to go in the transfer window would be absolutely crazy. An unnamed Saudi club is negotiating with Arsenal for Pepe and are offering a transfer fee. That's music to our ears, really. You have to just take whatever fee, take on his wages. Unfortunately, Pepe, it hasn't worked out. Let's keep it moving, and it is what it is. Ajax feels some very big club could return in the final few days of the window to sign Mohamed Kudus, says Romano. I mean, he can play in a couple of roles. I mean, it would make sense for Chelsea. Charles Watson said, big few days coming up for Balogun. Monaco clearly the most favourable option for Arsenal if the ongoing talks can come up with an agreeable package and structure. If Chelsea firm up their interest, there should be absolutely no compromise. Hit Arsenal's numbers or no deals. Amen. You know, Chelsea want to pay the going rates despite improve relations for the numerous players, Jorginho, Havertz, etc. of this world. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Balogun, Kudus, Gabriel potentially not going, Pepe leaving, Tierney, and all the 7 players that allegedly Arsenal want to move on. Again, check out the rest of the other vids. Do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't, smash the like button if you haven't, and comment during this video premiere or after if you haven't done such. Stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out.
You always use that active and defending.
I think it's like